Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Global Health and Wellness Conference. It's such an honor to have each and every one of you here today. Thank you to all of our speakers and thank you to all of our sponsors. And again, thank you all for being here with us today. Now, at this time, I welcome our first speaker, Melissa. Melissa is a plant-based personal chef. Her passion has always been creating healthy meals focused on high vibrational healing foods. Welcome, Melissa.
Hey. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello. So I'd like to talk to you today about health and wellness and healing foods. And one of the things that I think is really, really fascinating is that when we think about the ancient Greek philosopher, the Greek physician Hippocrates, he had some pretty cool quotes that I think are so relevant to this day. And a couple of things that he said is, the greatest medicine of all is teaching people how not to need it. Let that sink in for a second. That's really, really incredible to know that he lived on this earth 2,400 years ago, and that is still so relevant to this day. Another thing that he said was, let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food. Let that sink in for a second too. It's so incredibly powerful. It's wisdom that has lasted centuries. And when I think about those statements, it really makes me connect the dots when it comes to what we put in our bodies, what we consume. And when you think about the difference between, let's say, okra and an Oreo, there's a big difference there, right? One is going to scrub your arteries clean. The other one is going to clog it, right? And it's pretty easy to determine which one is going to do the good work and which one is going to create dis-ease in our bodies. It's the okra, right? The okra is the winner here. And okra is just one of the many fruits and vegetables that are full of phytonutrients that support our best health, that ignite our cells with energy, with life, with nutrition. And when you think about living foods versus foods that have no energy, it makes sense that when we eat a cleaner, healthier, more natural diet, we are going to be full of health. We are going to be full of wellness. We are going to be full of energy. And so one of the wonderful things about natural foods is that not only do they support our best health, but they can detoxify our body too. And when we think about the environment that we live in today, the household products, the body care, the pollution in the air, the things that our food comes wrapped in, that all puts toxins into our body. But it's so exciting to know that our food can cleanse our body. It can detoxify our body. And so that brings me to the topic that I want to speak about today, which is the top 3 detoxifying foods on this planet. And I'm so excited to share these with you because they're so important to the balance of our being. And it's so true that what we eat, we become. So if we eat clean, living, detoxifying foods, we become alive. We become full of energy. We fight disease. Our immune systems are more supercharged to be able to ward off anything that does not contribute positively to our health. So tell me if you like these foods, or think about if you like these foods. Broccoli is full of a detox molecule called glutathione. And glutathione is really what I want to focus on today. It is an incredible detox molecule that helps to fight off heavy metals, helps to fight off free radicals, helps to support our immune system. And if we eat more broccoli, we are setting ourselves up for success. So what do you think about broccoli? Broccoli is a controversial vegetable because maybe as a child, we grew up eating it with a look like this on our face. But as we become adults and we really think about the importance of health, wellness, and nutrition, now we get excited about eating foods that support our best selves. So the next time you eat broccoli, think about how this is a very powerful superfood that has a very powerful detox molecule that's going to give you the tools that you need for your best health. Now, the next one is my personal favorite. It is the avocado. Do we love the avocado? Let's give it up for the avocado. Do we live for guacamole? Yes, we do. So when you think about health, wellness, and nutrition, you want to incorporate more of the healing foods into your diet. And an avocado is so versatile. We love making guacamole, don't we? But why don't we slice avocado on top of our salads, or smash it with a little bit of lemon juice, lime juice, and some seasonings and make a delicious dressing? When you incorporate more of these foods, you are going to detox the body in a way that just gives you so much more energy versus something that you're going to buy at the grocery store that's just going to be shelf stable, that has no life to it. So use avocado everywhere you can. And I didn't even grow up liking avocado, but at some point in my life, I said, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. And then I fell in love with it. So I'm very thrilled to say that avocado finds its way into my diet. And it's so full of those good fats that we need for our body too. And I just think that when you look at a Hass avocado, it's just the perfect little food. It comes in its own packaging. It's cute, it's portable, and it's absolutely delicious. So the number one detoxifying food that has the most glutathione is, drum roll please, asparagus. Asparagus is so jam-packed with glutathione. There's 78 grams of glutathione in 100 grams of asparagus. I mean, how incredible is that? Does that not just tell you it is one of the most detoxifying foods? And there's so many ways we can use asparagus too, steamed and roasted. And when you think about adding more of this detoxifying food to your diet, well, you just can't help but just feel so much better, so much more revitalized, so full of nutrition when you incorporate these phytonutrient-packed foods. And so my talk today is really to encourage you to think about eating more living foods versus foods that really just don't contribute to our body. The organs that are most important for detoxification is our liver, our colon, our skin, our lungs, and our kidneys. And glutathione is just so incredibly detoxifying for our liver, which is so important to the balance and well-being of our bodies. So if you can't tell by now, I am so excited to talk about vegetables. There's so much power in phytonutrients. And when we circle back to the beginning and think about what Hippocrates said about let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food, the next time you look at an apple, the next time you look at broccoli, the next time you look at an eggplant, see it more than just a meal. Think of it as replacing the medicine bottles in your cabinet. Oh, I lost you.
You muted, Gigi.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now, thank you, Melissa. Now, we do have a question for you. And the
Yes.
question is, do you recommend adding avocado to each meal?
Oh, I love that. I think one avocado a day is more than enough. You can split that avocado in half and enjoy it on your lunch and then enjoy it on your dinner.
Thank you. And the last question for you. What message do you have for an individual who may be struggling with their body image?
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. That's a great, great question. And I think so many people feel that way, no matter what shape or size that we are. And it really just goes back to feeding ourselves the most healthy, high vibrational, nutritious foods. When you are giving your body everything that it needs, it's going to thank you. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to help alleviate things like depression, anxiety, poor body image. And it really starts with what we consume. What we put in our bodies really reflects what comes out in our minds, in our hearts, and our total being. So if anybody is struggling with that type of feeling, change your diet. It's so powerful.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
Now, our next speaker is Paula, and she's the CEO and founder of CrossFit Jaguar. Welcome.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm so excited, grateful to be here tonight. Fitness is a subject that is near and dear to my heart and has radically transformed my life. So it's a pleasure to be able to share on that subject. Many of you may have already be involved in fitness, or even if you're not, have you ever considered how incorporating fitness into your daily routine can transform not only your body, but your entire life? Back in 1994, I had a little aha moment while looking over a picture taken at a recent vacation. I decided I needed to make some healthy changes. I was 34 years old, and I embarked on a fitness quest on January 1st, 1995. Little did I know that I was not going to arrive at a destination, but rather that fitness is a journey, and it is something that is to become a lifestyle. And look, we're about 29 years later. We're still learning and we're still growing. For those of you that are new or just starting out on your fitness journey, I'd like to focus on that and talk about the importance of fitness, the challenges that you may encounter during your journey or even just getting started in your journey, and how to stay motivated. I work with a lot of people, a lot of clients that are CrossFit gyms. So it's really joyful to be able to give back. Most people know the benefits of physical exercise. I mean, you're going to lift some weights, you're going to build muscles, which are going to support your skeletal system, and you're going to look more toned and defined. You're going to do conditioning, cardiovascular exercises to improve your circulatory system along with your lungs. And all of that is going to help you ward off age-related diseases, along with flexibility work, which we all sit way too much these days. And by working on our flexibility, it will take us back to how we were meant to move, and again, ward off injuries and pain as we age. When I first started my journey, I was shocked to know that the most benefits I received were more from a mental standpoint. Sure, I looked better in the gym, I felt better, I had more energy, but what it does to your mental state. Back then, I was insecure to a degree. I had lower self-esteem than I should have. When I got under that barbell or when I picked up those dumbbells and I did more than I did the time before, or I was just able to actually do the movement, it became very empowering. And I never would have said I was a depressed or anxious person, but in hindsight, exercise can counter that far better than the pharmaceutical remedies that modern allopathic physicians seem to want to push on a lot of, especially young people. So exercise, the benefits are also equally from a mental standpoint. Now, there are a lot of challenges I find for people. Not everyone falls in love with going to the gym when they first start out. The biggest one I hear is a lack of time. I don't know about you, but I don't have a lot of free time either. Most people are working full time. A lot of people are raising families. And in today's world, 24/7, we're getting hit from all social media platforms. We're getting hit from our devices nonstop. So where do you find time for self-care and time to take care of yourself? You make time. Plain and simple. You have to commit to what you can. Maybe it's just 2 45-minute sessions a week. That's fine. Put it on your calendar, whether you write it down in pencil and paper like I do, or whether you put it in your phone or wherever you keep it. Commit to what you can. All right. Maybe it'll be more later, but let's commit to something because that's going to enable you to start. And a lot of people don't know what to do. They're lost. They walk into a gym or they want to go to the park and they want to get started, but they don't know what to do. Enlist a trainer. That would be my number one piece of advice, is to hire a trainer. That cannot be cost effective and you may not have it in your budget. The next best option would be some type of a group fitness class where you're at least going to get some coaching and some guidance. You're not going to have to come up with the workout. And there's going to be other people with the same goals, and it's going to be more fun. You also want to know your why, because that's going to have a lot to do with your motivation and with your being able to stay consistent and to make this a lifestyle, to make it a journey that is ongoing. Why are you doing this? Is it to look better, to feel better, to get out of pain? It's your why. It's very personal. Mine started out to look better in a bikini, and that changed 10 times over the years. And over the course of 29 years, it just keeps getting better. So, just dig deep within and determine what your why is. And there will be a lot of challenges along the way. You just have to get through them, over them, around them. I recently broke a toe, dropped a 25-pound plate on it, and shattered it into 7 or 8 pieces. Couldn't walk in a little scooter. I was on crutches. I was going crazy because I couldn't get my exercise in, but I still had arms, shoulders. I sat down, picked up light weights, and I did what I could just to get me through, and just doing that enabled me to accept what had happened and deal with it. And that could be, anything that happened in your life. Your physical, it's just going to help you get through it better. In order to stay motivated, I liked setting goals, and I encourage my clients to set goals. They could be something for a novice, simple as they should be specific, they should be measurable, and they should have a timeline. So it could be something as simple as I commit to 2 days a week of exercise for 45 minutes, and I commit to do that for a month. There's your first goal. It doesn't have to be a competition. It doesn't have to be, a 5K race. It just has to be where you feel you're going to succeed. Because first starting out in your journey, you need wins. We all need little wins. We need wins along the way. And you want to celebrate your victories. Okay, so start slow, start simple, start realistic. You want to also find activities that you can enjoy doing. Not everyone loves to go to the gym and lift weights. I do. Some people prefer to be outside. You can join a local, do you like playing softball or basketball? Or there's mom groups that meet in the park. There are neighborhood groups like that outside. Just find something you like, because there's a lot of different ways to get fit. And if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to want to do it for the rest of your life. And lastly, in order to stay motivated, find a support system. If you're in a group class, that's going to help because you're going to keep each other accountable. Or maybe you have a workout buddy that goes to the gym with you, goes to the park with you, or maybe it's your spouse or significant other. So that always makes it easier at home because then you can go home and eat your broccoli together with some good protein. But you've got to, it helps to share it with somebody. So basically we've went over the importance, the challenges, staying motivated. So what's next? Getting started. Take some time, understand your why, make a plan, set a small achievable goal, and begin your journey. Because if you don't begin, you're never going to go through it and achieve a better life. And fitness is truly a lifestyle. It's dedication, it's determination, it's discipline. And I'm known for not sugarcoating things. It's tough. All right. It is tough. And I don't care how tough it gets, because you're going to have setbacks. You're going to fail. You're going to fall down. I've failed so many times, but we fail to succeed. And the thing you want to focus on is to never, ever, ever give up. Because every challenge you conquer today, no matter how small or how big, is going to be a victory for tomorrow. And just remember that there is no finish line. Thank you.
Very powerful. And like you said, know your why, begin your journey. Very powerful statements. Now, we do have a few questions for you, Paula. The first question is, what challenges did you face on your fitness journey, and how did you overcome, and how may others be able to do the same?
Ooh, wow. You know me, Gigi. That's why that question was posed. My challenges on my fitness journal, I loved going to the gym. So that was never, you didn't have to, I loved it. I lived for it. Very disciplined and very self-motivated. My challenges were my bad habits outside the gym. The diet wasn't so bad, but we really liked to party hardy in our younger years, and that is so counterproductive to working out. And it enabled me to face my demons and to gradually, because it's a slow journey with baby steps, make better choices. Think about what I was doing. And eventually I got to a point where I no longer desired the things that were not good for me. It literally transformed my life.
Very powerful. And the next question is, what if an individual is afraid for their body to transform?
Afraid in what way?
Fear.
Fear that they are unable to, or fear that bad things are going to happen to their body?
For their new body image.
Sure. Well, I would think that their training would support how they wanted it to change. If they wanted to lose weight, for example, if that was their goal, that they would focus on the nutritional aspect as well as the cardiovascular aspect, so that they could transform their body into the look that they desire. Or if it was building muscle, they would focus a little bit more on weights. If I answered that correctly. I'm not sure I understood the question.
Yes, and thank you. Great answer. And so we have two more questions for you. And the next question is in regards to meal prepping. What if an individual feels as though they don't have enough time to meal prep?
Oh, I get it. You don't have time. Do you like to cook? They tell me no. There are so many wonderful companies out there, and I usually keep 2 or 3 on hand that I know that are sourcing quality foods. They tend to go with the organic fruits and vegetables, and they have the pastured meats. And I will suggest a meal prep company for them because they can have it delivered, and maybe there's a couple of meals of the day that they can incorporate into that and make in addition to. But if it's something they don't like to do or don't have time for, we can only prioritize so many things. So I would suggest that.
Awesome. And the last question is, what if an individual has a fear to win? You mentioned winning earlier. What if they have a fear to win?
I've never heard of that. Do they like losing? Just,
Thank
I
you.
really, you're welcome.
Thank you, Paula. Yes. And now our next speaker is Hinesh. Hinesh, he's left his career as an executive in the federal public service and then as a consultant to coach divorced dads to get back on track through healthy co-parenting relationships and making decisions that benefit their kids in the long run. Welcome, Hinesh.
Thank you, Gigi, and it's an honor to be here, and I'm hungry. Thanks, Melissa, for talking about avocados, and I went towards tacos because how could you not even mention tacos? But you talked about the savory stuff and not the sweet stuff, and I want to add something I really like, which is avocados with blueberries and something else I'm forgetting. So making something sweet, right, a touch of vanilla, and blending that up for a pudding or a smoothie. And yes, let's talk divorced dads and some interesting statistics. 70% in the Western world, 70% of divorces are initiated by women. And most of these divorces or breakdowns of relationships leave guys, men, dads surprised. And that creates a really harmful cycle, or a cycle that is unhealthy, as men are not well equipped to share their emotions and aren't well equipped to seek out support. And later I want to talk about connection, collaboration, community. I like alliteration. And what I do in the divorce space for dads is called Decent Divorced Dads. 70% of women initiate these divorces, and men tend to be struggling because they aren't the ones that lead the typical domestic responsibilities at home. They don't know the teachers. They don't know the different appointments, doctors, and so forth for their kids, how to braid hair, how to do all the things that they should know as a parent because they're focused on their career. And so this creates a really interesting shift. And again, coming back to statistics, the rate for a divorced dad is 9 times higher than a divorced woman. I'll say that again, 9 times higher. If that doesn't raise flags, I don't know what will, what would, or what can, because that's a serious statistic that needs some greater examination. I lost my brother to suicide 3 years ago. He was a dad, 2 young kids, and newly separated. And this is what got me interested in understanding how does that come to be, and understanding, seeing other friends commit suicide. And was that something that was happening across the board, or were these isolated incidences? And getting into the statistics, realized that there's a really interesting spectrum where you've got a very thick margin of senior executive CEOs that are men, and you've got a very thick margin on the other side of society that are homeless and addicted. And we only talk about that perceived successful band of men and not the other side where they are killing themselves and they do have significant problems, are incarcerated. And it begs the question, why? There's a variety of reasons, but increased connection, collaboration, and community would decrease that. And then the further impact to children without fathers or from absent homes creates even bigger challenges in the long run and a significant impact socioeconomically that also needs to be understood. And there's a lot of moving pieces to this, where there's legislative challenges and a host of other issues. And what I work with organizations or divorced dads, it's all about how to get the outcome you want. But there's no point pointing fingers. Let's talk solutions. Let's talk better lives. Let's talk healthy co-parenting relationships with the other parent. Let's talk about the best outcomes possible for our kids in the long run for a better future. And that's what it ultimately comes down to. But awareness has to be a really big piece of this. Is why is this happening? And to talk about it, to support the divorcing parents out there where the weight is so high, and also ask the question, why is this happening? Why is it happening? We look at our society where we outsource our child rearing. We discard our elders. We don't have multi-generational homes. There's no transfer of values. We don't have attendance of houses of worship. There's just this gradual deterioration and a lack of connection, collaboration, and community. And we need to bring that back. And I love what you're talking about, Paula and Melissa. I love Socrates' quote. It's about fitting in those things in life. You have to fit it in, because if you don't make time for it, guess what's going to make time for you? Illness. And it's not just the activity and the nutrition, it's also the mental health. It's doing what's absolutely necessary to stay healthy up here so that you're healthy down here. And what I learned after being off of work for illness for over a year was good sleep, good nutrition, good movement, good fitness, meditation, spirituality, getting out in nature. And then what got me over the top was number 6, which is creation, was actually being creative in some way, whether that meant playing music, whether that was playing with your kids, gardening, cooking. If you don't like cooking, find something else. There's so many ways to create things. If that means throwing spitballs against your wall and making some sort of fancy pattern, anything that gets that passion or emotion out of you. So those were the 6 elements I found that helped me on my path to healing. And something else I want to share, I also am a management consultant. I work with organizations, and everything's about that connection, collaboration, and community, and good leadership practices, and working with large organizations that are capital intensive with complex processes. And I'm a process nerd, which has made me good in this, is being able to create healthy practices. How you do one thing is how you do everything. What you do at home carries over into your workplace, and vice versa. And for organizations to have good practices, to have that healthy dialogue amongst teams, that naturally creates an organic change management and continual improvement process, but also increases wellness. So all this to say is communicate, share, be vulnerable, check in on others, support each other. And we're all in it together. And that's what has been falling apart, especially in the last couple of years post-COVID. Everything is about connection, collaboration, and community. And I just wanted to put that out to everybody, is think about that on a daily basis. Say hi to your neighbor if you don't know them. Check in on your colleague, and smile and say hi to the people around you, because it's going to make their day better, and it has a beautiful ripple effect.
Very powerful. Thank you, Hinesh. Now, we do have a question for you. Now, what if an individual is recently divorced and they may be facing a health challenge? What message you have for that particular individual?
Well, first is just have some self-compassion, because I think the biggest challenge immediately in that space, and having gone through it, I don't think I mentioned that, is I am a divorced dad, and it kicked my ass. So first thing is probably take a look at what you can and can't do, because I know as a single parent, as any parent, it's looking at what you're not doing for your child, for your household, and getting sick is going to slow you down. And no one's there to take care of you. You need to take care of yourself. And so having a bit of self-compassion and just slowing down a bit, and don't be afraid to ask for help from your friend, neighbor, family, anybody. Ask for help.
Excellent. Now, you do have another question that came in as well. And this question is from Tanya. The question is, Hinesh, do you have a support group?
I do. There's a decent divorced dad Facebook group that exists. There's a community there. There's almost 600 people in that community, and it's growing. And the idea is to be able to support each other in a productive, positive way. So yes, that exists. Men and women happy to join. It is mostly men and geared for men, but there is a healthy percentage of women in the group.
Okay, awesome. Can you do us a favor and share that link in the chat, please?
Sure can.
Thank you, Henesh. Now, our next speaker is Christina Spekos. Welcome. Christina is a fitness expert. Welcome.
Hey everybody, I'm so excited to be here and thank you, Gigi, for the opportunity. I have to piggyback on what a lot of the other ladies said. They laid the foundation for the next level that I'm going to take it to a little bit more specifically in health and wellness. And I have this vendetta against like the media right now with what they put out about health and wellness and how we have so many different conflicting informational pieces out there. So I am on this whole two lies and a truth kind of thing where I feel like everything that we hear, it's two lies and then there's the truth underneath of it. So what I wanted to talk about today is my title as it's not just carbs and cardio, you know, how fitness has actually helped me to look more than skin deep, especially being a pro bodybuilder. That's the caveat. What did this do for me? So let's kind of tear apart, come with some of the two truths and a lie real quick, or two lies and a truth, so to speak, of what I think people perceive fitness and of course, building and sculpting your body as, and then what it actually did for me in a personal experience. So for example, every time I talk to somebody, and as a coach, I get this a lot. Oh, I know what I got to do. I just got to drop carbs and I'm just going to go run. And I'm like, okay, you want to die? That's great. Come back to me in a week, right? But the truth is, it's not dropping carbs. It's not just doing cardio. It's strength training. And so the two lies and a truth about strength training. Oh, I'm going to get bulky. I'm going to look masculine. I'm going to be this, that, the third. No, we're meant to have shape and structure and utilize our muscles. We're meant to challenge ourselves to build our bone density. Muscle is way more metabolically active. So this is our number one tissue for longevity. So when someone's just running all their lives and never eating carbs, it's a recipe for disaster. But this is the perception with the rise of different types of nutrition and diet plans over the years and medications and all of these things, that this is not the route that the general population is led to believe, but it's not the route that they should go. So now the next two lies and a truth that actually hits my soul and punches me in the gut is muscle is gross, it's unappealing, it's masculine, and you should only stretch and only do cardio because that's exactly what our bodies are meant to do. I'm a hybrid person. I believe in everything has a place. And when you want to be really excellent at something, you have to dial in a little bit more on that. And it's very like the SAID principle, SAID, specific adaptations to impose demands. If you want to be an excellent tennis player, there's things that you have to do. You're not going to go up to the football field to be a tennis player. Same thing with your body. If you want to be a marathon runner, then maybe you're going to be running more. But if you want to improve a lot of things for longevity, you have to incorporate strength training. So the more muscle that you have, simply put, the more you can eat. I don't know if anyone's heard of the term glucose disposal, but basically your muscle tissue, well, the more you have, you're going to be able to basically act like insulin and utilize the carbohydrates in your body as opposed to storing them. And in the obesity epidemic that we have, most of the things that we have easy access to is laden with fats and carbs. It's not that fats and carbs are not good for you in the amounts and the choices like the avocado and certain types of carbs for certain purposes. So when I get, with clients, I really teach them this. It's not that anything's bad. It's that most of us are under muscled and we're not eating enough protein because some people just don't like to eat meat and some people just don't want to prepare it. And it's not the first thing that's available in a vending machine. Let's face it. There's not exactly like chicken breast in a vending machine. So people pick Doritos and the Oreos. There's certainly no avocados in a vending machine. So they're not really going for the good stuff. However, you can handle a lot more carbohydrates that you're taking in with more muscle that you have. And then the last two lies and a truth that I feel is more social is that it's selfish and it's vain for you to take care of yourself. It's selfish or it's vain for you to want to sculpt your body a certain way or lose the weight in certain areas or build your booty or whatever it is that's trending nowadays. Sculpting your body is for confidence and life. And that's where the fun part of my topic, my title gets in. That it's not just carbs and cardio. There is a reason why you should challenge yourself. Our bodies are built to last. We're like Ford Tough, right? We are built to push ourselves. We are built and we're God-given equipped for the ability to do hard things. We do some pretty crazy things. Look at guys like David Goggins or those in the military that push their bodies and their minds to the brinks. When we choose to be sedentary because it's too hard to wake up, or I don't want to lift weights because I'm going to get bulky, you don't just fall on a dumbbell and turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger. If that happened, I would be like not able to walk through my door about 6 years ago. So we're built to do hard things, and the sad reality of what we're globally seeing is people don't push themselves. We live in a society where hard things are not accepted, and it's not fun to do. And there's very few warriors. Well, we'll probably talk about this in our Global Warriors Conference, right? Very few warriors that are going to go to battle for themselves, let alone their neighbor. And so it starts from within. So my personal story of this transformation was that bodybuilding essentially saved my life and taught me the most lessons. And I don't suggest that bodybuilding is the vehicle for everyone to go to, but even 10% of what I do on the daily is something that can change someone's life on a smaller scale. We strength train. We eat the right foods that we can utilize, not the ones that are going to get stored or cause inflammation. We want to be able to repair and recover every single thing that a bodybuilder looks like they're selfishly doing for the look, of course, because that's what the sport is. There are health parameters underlying that because we want to be efficient. But the thing that is really the crux of my title of this whole thing and my main point was all of these 2 lies and a truth that I took us through this little journey, how I arrived here. It's socially uneducated and judgmental to take care of yourself. So you never actually get the benefit of what it feels like to build your confidence, your decision-making abilities, and the way you move through the world and stand tall if you don't challenge yourself. So the biggest teacher is not just what bodybuilding taught me from a nutrition perspective, from being very efficient with my digestion and my absorption and my output and my performance, but what it felt like to walk into a room knowing I'm doing something that 2% of the population might think about, and only 1% of that 2% are actually good at. And so if you look at that on a smaller scale and say, well, I'm new to fitness, that's scary. It's just getting in the room. It's getting in the gym. It's challenging yourself that 1% every day. That's going to help you to, at least in my case, erase, ironically, 20 years of self-doubt being in fitness as a profession, to finally commit to the body and the health that I wanted, and to truly understand beyond the textbooks and experience how my body utilizes food, how my body can be pushed for excellence, and how it shaped my mind to be able to do hard things. So it's not just carbs and cardio. It's not just losing 5 pounds here and there. It's truly, I think Paula said it, it's a choice to do something hard every single day to challenge yourself, because it becomes a part of you. And when you adopt what is important to you, kind of like when you said your why as well, when you adopt what's important to you, you don't say the excuse of, I don't have time. It becomes a priority to feel good. Because when you go back to feeling bad, after you went from bad to good to bad, you realize you just will not go back there anymore. And so it becomes a priority to eat well. It becomes a priority to show yourself, your peers, and influence your children or anyone else in your life that this is the way that you are happy. And it's an infectious way to spread a good virus, this virus of fitness. And of course, you show up different in the world when you know you've accomplished something that you probably have put off for years and you finally did it. So that's my spiel, but it goes from the misconceptions of fitness and perceptions out there socially to really dig deep inside. And as hard as it is to turn that off, because I've dealt with a lot, we'll probably actually talk about that at the Warriors Conference because we don't have enough time today, but it's hard to turn off the outside world, the opinions, the judgments, and to go different from what Hollywood is doing with their medications and what Karen at the office is doing, and to listen truly to yourself and just respect the vessel that God gave you.
Thank you, Christina. Now we got
Welcome.
a question for you. You mentioned self-doubt. What if an individual is doubting themselves today? What message do you have for that individual who has a fitness goal they're looking to achieve, but they're facing that self-doubt?
I like to be very sensitive to this because I dealt with that for many years. Ironically, being a face in fitness, I still had that, which I don't think a lot of people realize. And it's just kind of sticking your neck out there a little bit. Like just put your toe in the water, just a little bit. And don't look at the elephant, right? The phrase is, how do you eat an elephant? Well, one bite at a time. So it's giving yourself grace to mess up and realize, as I think it was Melissa that said, it's a journey, right? Or Paul, one of you guys said it was a journey. It is a journey. That the journey is the elephant, and you just eat a little bite, and you realize that some bites are going to be tougher than others, but you're taking small action that's going to build your confidence, because you'll lose a little bit more of that doubt every time you do something little for yourself, and you just build those small wins.
Wow, very powerful. Thank you, Christina.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Our next speaker is me, Gigi Sabat. Yes. So today I wanted to talk to you all about fitness and mindset. And the first topic I wanted to discuss with you is trauma and health. Don't let trauma keep you from being healthy. I'll say it again. Don't let trauma keep you from being healthy. And I'll say it again. Don't let trauma keep you from being healthy. And so I'll backtrack here a little bit and I'll tell you this. I was sexually assaulted when I was 8 years old, and again as an adult. And I'm grateful for the coaches that I've had along the way who've helped me face this head on. And I know many other individuals who this has happened to, women and men who speak openly about this publicly as well, who have faced something similar or some sort of trauma, right? Maybe it's sexual assault or maybe some sort of trauma, and it's maybe keeping you from being healthy. I want to remind you again to face it head on. Face it head on, as difficult as it may be. I know because I've been there. I've been there. And I know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel that you can overcome. And with God, all things are possible. And not only did I have the trauma that I endured, but I also had a knee injury recently. And if you were to tell me that I'd be running a marathon, let alone a 5K or a 10K, and now tomorrow a half marathon, I'd tell you, really? Really? Coming from the knee injury that I had? No, I didn't see it. But I'm grateful for my family, my friends, and my coach, my fitness coach, who believed in me and believed that it was possible. And every time that I thought that I couldn't run, my coach did. My coach thought it was possible. And oftentimes it's our coaches that see it before we do, right? And remember, it's okay if you need help. It's okay to ask for help, or it's okay to obtain a fitness coach. And again, if you're facing trauma and it's keeping you from being healthy, you're not alone. I'll say it again, you're not alone. One of my favorite verses is Joshua 1:9. It says, haven't I commanded you to be strong and courageous? Do not be afraid or discouraged, for your Lord your God is with you wherever you go. It's a great reminder that you're not alone and that God is with you wherever you go. And also nutrition mistakes. I want to talk to you all about nutrition mistakes. Oftentimes it's okay, I have this busy work schedule, or I have this busy life. Maybe it's just, I feel busy, right? And it's, I don't have time for my health. I don't have time. No, you can. It's balance, right? Finding that balance and replacing all of the negative meals with some positive meals, right? And maybe it's not stopping by the local drive-through, but also meal prepping, right? We spoke about that earlier, taking the time to meal prep. And so some of us have been there, right? Some of us have been there. And literally, Tanya, she'll jokingly tell me, she's like, Gigi, I watched you and how you transform how you eat. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. But again, facing the trauma, then also coming off the knee injury. And again, when we talk about the nutrition, then you're faced with facing the nutrition component, because that goes hand in hand with everything that you're doing in the gym, correct? So important. What are you consuming? What are you putting into your mind, body, soul, and spirit? Be mindful what you're putting into your body. And so I had to shift not only my mindset, but also what I was eating. And so my go-to for my runs are shakes or smoothies. And so do what works for you. Do what works for you. And that's my message to you. And God first, your faith in all areas of your life is so important, including your health. He wants to be a part of all areas of your life. Yes, including your health. I know it may be really my health. Yes, your health, all areas of your life. And again, if you need help, it's okay to ask for help or obtain a fitness coach. Thank you. And our next speaker is Dr. Tanya Gohl. She's a medical doctor. Welcome, Tanya. You're muted.
How do I unmute?
There you go. You're here now.
Okay, good. Sorry about the background. I know. Sorry about that. All right. Hey, friends. Let me just turn this off. I was trying to be a little more techno savvy and I didn't do as well as I hoped. Sorry about that. So I just want to thank you, Gigi, for having this and apologize for my background. But I am just so excited to be here. And today I'm going to be talking about being happy. And we're going to talk about, my talk is Let's Laugh. And it's 7 habits of extremely happy people. And I know that's a pivotal point for health because we know when we can be happy, we can make better decisions for ourselves. When we're sad, sometimes we just don't have the energy to do this stuff. We're not motivated to change. So first, I'd like you to all unmute yourself and let's stand up like Paula said and Melissa said, we do sit way too much. They call it the new smoking. So I'm going to ask you to join me and feel free whenever you're in a meeting. I don't know if you sit quite a bit for work, whatever, get up. It's okay during your meetings to shake your body. Shake. Now, maybe at your certain meetings, you're not allowed to shake the body, but no one's seeing your legs, right? So you can always shake those legs. I'm doing that right now. And then shake those arms, bring a little smile to that face. Let me see your teeth. If you have the removable kind, keep those in, but just shake, 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 shake those hips. Good. And just kind of roll the shoulders back. Whatever's kind of stiff for you right now, just kind of move it. If your neck needs a little kind of tweaking, just gently use your fingers to massage the back of that neck. Let's all take a nice deep breath in and just say, ah. If your back is a little tight, just gently move all the way over to one side and then gently over to the other side. Oh, that feels so good. And then just gently, let's bring our fingers to our back because that's one of the most common things when patients come to see me is back pain. My back aches. Now, if you work out a lot and you don't stretch, your back is going to ache a lot too. So it's really important when you're working out is to stretch the body. It really does help reduce your risk for injury. It can also help with recovery time. And it also just feels good too. Your body's meant to move so we don't stiffen up as we get older. My brother calls it petrifying. You don't want to be like a fossil. You need to move, otherwise we harden up. So yeah, don't become fossilized. Okay, so the first part of laugh, it's the acronym LAUGH, L-A-U. You'll see what the G3 stands for and H. So the L is live on purpose. And I also like to say live with purpose because at the end of the day, it's your life. I am not here to tell you to be healthy. I'm here to guide you and I want to invite you and excite you, as all the speakers have done, is all the gifts of health. Bottom line is if you don't take care of it, it's not going to take care of you. And the same with our goals. If we have a goal like, oh, that's nice, but we don't do anything for it, it's just a dream in our heads. But you take action, you work towards it. The greatest part is you can be successful. You make your goals realistic. You model people who are doing it. Yes, you can sit now if you want to sit. But the idea is to live with purpose, with passion. And that is why Betty White and people, who are exercising way into their 80s, 90s, keep doing it. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, because they had that passion to live. They wanted to do the things they wanted to do. And you need energy to do that. You need muscle strength. You need to feel good. So thank you for Christina's talk and Paula's and Melissa's. We need good nutrients, nutrition, and also Hanesh. We need to have support because if we don't, We're just like kind of hanging out. And Gigi has gotten me to do my 10Ks, my 5Ks. Thank you for that. Yes, you're near and dear. I got to start joining. I'm at my sister's. If you see all these background, at my sister's house for her, it's her 20th wedding anniversary tomorrow. That's why I'm not joining you, Gigi, for your half marathon, but I'm definitely there in spirit. So the A is act happy, to be happy. We know if we can act like a healthy person, thinking of their habits, their thought patterns, what they would put into their bodies, we can be that way. Same with anything you want to do. You model success, you can be more successful. And for me, just one simple thing is to smile. How often I go to the airport and I'm like, people are just like on their phones, and look, where are you looking? Usually on your phones, and their neck hurts, they get text thumbs, shoulders are rounded, back pain. But the idea is we're looking down. If you look down most of the day, that's how you're usually going to feel. Think of people who are uplifted, power lifters, bodybuilders, people in the gym, their posture's up, their chest is lifted. Why? It elevates them, and their muscles are strong enough to hold them up. It's a process. So if you have poor posture, just know that it can improve with practice. So again, light up your life with this is like our best real estate, just show me the love. And imagine you doing this to other people, and then they're reciprocating. Not everybody will, but if you do it for most people, they're usually going to, say good morning or good afternoon, whatever time of the day. And then they reciprocate with a smile. And then that person smiles. And you never know who you're going to affect. I have so many people who call me Dr. Smiley, and they say, Dr. Gold, you made my day. And I've heard stories where sometimes it was that smile that caused them not to commit the suicide because they saw that people cared about them. It was that moment when you're in the store and you just really notice the clerk, and she's like, you're the first person who actually said something to me and, just showed me that you really cared. So thank you for that. So just know that we can have those little moments, these tiny moments in time that can really have a huge impact on so many people. And when we're having a tough time, imagine that reciprocation too. So the U is for get rid of the ugly. So it can be ugly defined in many different ways. For me, it was a lot of clutter in my household. And for me, clutter just literally impacts my life. It makes it harder to find things, harder to get to the gym or go places because I can't find my keys. I can't find my phone. It's just everywhere. So I started unveiling the clutter, just getting rid of it. And it really helped to feel better. It's also the ugly people in your life. Like, who the heck do you think you are that you're going to do that, right? You're going to keep up. Yeah, maybe you go on your diet for 2 days, but then you're going to be at Dunkin' Donuts eating those donuts with me, or smoking those cigarettes, or drinking that alcohol. Like, who do you think you are? You think you're better than us? Whatever you hear, those naysayers are not your support group. And it's okay to recognize sometimes you do have to leave some people behind, or just move into your place where you need to grow. And it's important because at the end of the day, people can bring you down. And it's okay to say, you don't have to apologize for your greatness, for being amazing in who you are, or being your true essence. Because if they can't handle that sunshine, that greatness, let them wear sunglasses. But if they can't handle it, you keep your shades on, you keep going. Because at the end of the day, they'll take your power away from you. And the only person to give away your power is you. Like, you don't have to give it away. You can start to own it again. And one little exercise I learned today is just write down at least 50 things of your self-worth. 50 amazing things about you. I honestly had trouble writing 5 and I was like, this is not good. So I was working, but I got to 50. I did it today, but write down 50 amazing things about you. I promise you there is much more than that, but you can definitely get to 50. Work on that today. That's a wonderful exercise in building your self-worth, your confidence, because you're definitely amazing and you're here. Just remember, you're descendants of warriors. You would not be here if your family did not get through famine, war, get through all the hardships of life, all the natural disasters. You survived. You are descendants from warriors. So remembering that. The G3 is 3 different things. Give. So remember, the more you give back to others, whatever you want. So if you want more love, you give out the love. You want more support, you give out that support. the more you give, the more you receive. And it is so true with that. And I found that personally. And Gigi has been a bright light. So is Paula. And I thank God for them. They've really helped me so much through different struggles in my life. So grow. Remember, you can always grow and learn something. You can grow in your muscles. You can grow in happiness and joy. You can grow financially. There's so many different avenues for that. Grow in abundance with your relationship. The important part is keep going, and don't give up. I love that message. I work with powerlifters. They're 80 plus years old. One lady was 100. Their one thing, never give up. They showed it to me. I was like, holy moly. But they really, you can do it in your 80s, in your 90s. You never have to stop growing. And that's really, really important. And then guess what? When you don't give up on your health, it doesn't give up on you. So the next part is gratitude. And when we appreciate, we realize how blessed we are to live in a country with food, with, people say, oh, I have car trouble, but you have a car. With, my house is you have a house, think of all our blessings. Our heart is still beating. Our eyes are still working. You can still hear. I know, Paula, you broke your toe, but you had so many other toes too. So it's okay to recognize all the blessings that you still have in your life. You have toes, you have arms, you have legs. So really, really important to remember what gifts we still have and things that we can cherish too, things that are still with us. And if, God forbid, somebody completed their life, like my mom completed her life early, I realize she's still with me. So I take her wherever I go, and I have all the blessings of all our cherished moments. No one could ever take that away from me. The last part is health. Health is wealth, as we know, and we heard Hippocrates. It's so true. If you realize the true medicine is in our foods, in real food. And if you actually look at the Oxford Dictionary for food, food is defined as nutritious. So I actually even challenge you to ask, is an Oreo really food? Is, all the stuff actually food? We call it junk food, but I even want to get out the food part, because really it's not really doing us any or giving us any good nutrition. And recognizing that we can ask ourselves, will this serve me? Does it mean I'm not an all or nothing kind of girl, but I do believe the 90-10 rule. 90% of the time we do what we should be doing, 10% in moderation, because you don't want to undo all the good stuff. But we give and take. Do you want a cookie? Do you want, of course you can have it, but you can't have 10 every single day or every single hour and expect to, have strong muscles and feel amazing and have all the highest energy that your body's potential is. Of course, there's some outliers out there, but for the majority of us, we are increasing risk when we eat very unnutritiously or without nutrients. And the second part of that is bringing in the love, support, knowing that you're deserving, and appreciative, and play. I love the word play, because I do have some people say, Dr. Golds, I do not like to work out. Well, I don't like work all the time. I mean, it is hard work, like you said, Paul, and I totally agree with that. But you also have to play. And when I'm jumping rope, when I'm literally jumping on the trampoline or my bed, just don't tell my husband, just have fun. I'm doing hopscotch. I think of all the stuff hula hoop, things that I did as a kid. It's okay to put that in there. I still go to the gym. I still power lift with my ladies. I was in a bodybuilding contest. Hard work, but I also like to play within it and smile and have joy, because when you realize put those two together, it's so much more fun. And when you're having fun, it will get done. So that's all I wanted to share, but I just want to thank you. I really do feel so blessed to be part of this conference, all these golden nuggets that I've learned. I did write a book, 7 Habits of Extremely Happy People. I'm happy to gift you my book if you're interested. The free intro is already up online through my website, which I can include in the chat. And I'm on social media through my name, Dr. Tanya Gold. But we have a cooking show and I teach yoga. So a lot of yoga stretches and just uplifting messages and things on nutrition. But I'm just, again, feeling so guided and blessed, channeled. Just realize this, I'm a guide for all, it's not me that is giving this talk. It's through through God, and he's just channeling me. My message for all of you is that that you are 100% perfectly made. You're a beautiful blessing in this world, and you are meant to shine. Mwah! Lots of love.
Very powerful. Thank you, Tanya. Now, we do have a question for you. Now, what if an individual has attempted every single thing they can in regards to maybe obtaining or achieving their fitness goal, and now they have given up? What message do you have for that individual?
Well, I guess the question is if they achieve their fitness goal. Remember, once you get close to a goal, you always want to have another one. There's no finish lines, like Paula was saying. And then I would actually ask them, like, what's making them struggle or give up to begin with? And if they can rewire that brain, because they may say, well, I achieved it, so I'm done, right? I got a ceiling on my health. You already got as healthy as possible. It's like eating one healthy meal and you're like, I'm done. I did my healthy meal for my lifetime. It doesn't work that way. There's no end point to how healthy you can be, how happy you can be, how loving you can be, how cutesy you can be, how playful you can be, and how much fun you can have. Honestly, every day, every way, you can get stronger. So I would just let them know that no, not giving up, the hope, but also reach out to a coach or a support group. I think that's really empowering. And I do want to add one more thing to that. Get functionally medicine tested, because we do have some folks that say doctor goals, I'm exercising, I'm eating healthy, and I feel fine. But just check your labs, because they don't lie. And my brother-in-law, who I'm visiting here too, he literally exercises. He's running a marathon in every state. You're like, oh, he's powerhouse. He doesn't need to check, but he did. He got his labs checked. His sugars were high. He was like, oh, my snack is, he's not eating Oreo cookies, which he was, but he's like, I'm going for animal crackers and applesauce. And applesauce, the regular applesauce, is high fructose corn syrup, so lots and lots of sugar. And it's really like, apples are good, but the other parts that they put in it, it's the processed ones. They do have the natural without the excess sugar, but it has so loaded with sugar, and so are the animal crackers. So he just didn't know. So now we're talking about some healthier choices. Can you do some almonds, some walnuts, put those things in there, or sprinkle in flaxseed or chia seeds into your smoothie, like some people were mentioning. But the idea is there's hope, and let him know or her know that you can get better and healthier through guidance.
Thank you, Tanya. Very
Welcome.
powerful. Now, before we move to our next speakers, which are the Stutz family, we're going to do an activity here. So if everyone can unmute your mics, we're going to go through some affirmations here.
Yay.
Are you ready? Everyone unmute, unmute your mics, unmute your mics. We want to hear your voice. We want to hear your voice. We want to hear from you. Are you ready?
Yes.
You're ready.
Okay, so I'm going to state an affirmation and I want you to repeat it back, okay? Here it goes. The first one, I deserve to be healthy and feel good.
I
I
deserve to be healthy
and
and
feel good.
good.
Yay.
I am full of energy and vitality, and my mind is calm and peaceful.
I am full of energy and vitality,
and my mind is
peaceful.
calm and peaceful.
Oh, that's powerful. I got chills. Okay, the next one. Every day I am getting healthier and stronger.
Every
Every day I'm getting healthier and stronger.
I honor my body by trusting the signals that it sends me.
I
honor my body by trusting the signals that it sends me.
I manifest perfect health by making smart choices.
I manifest perfect health by making smart choices.
I am grateful to be alive. It is my joy and pleasure to live another wonderful day.
I am grateful to be alive. It is my joy and pleasure to live another wonderful day.
Happiness is my birthright. I choose to be happy and I deserve to be happy.
Happiness is my birthright. I choose to be happy and I deserve to be happy.
Very powerful. Being happy comes easy to me.
Being happy comes easy to me.
Happiness is my second nature.
Happiness is my
second nature.
Good things are happening.
Good
things are happening.
And the last one, I am deeply fulfilled by what I do.
I am deeply fulfilled by what I do.
Very powerful. Now, our next speaker is John Stutz. John, AKA the modern day Noah, is a mechanic, publisher, professional driver, and aspiring comedian. Growing up with autism was challenging, but has been able to function normally without medications in his adult life. He has many years of experience in the fireman and paramedic field and in some corrections. Growing up in a military family shaped his need to always serve his community, which led him to become a community director for a nonprofit where he co-hosts podcast Learning with Faith. Welcome, John.
And Gigi, it's so great to be back and seeing you. I'm sorry, I'm like a sleepy bear today. Happiness comes and goes with me half the time right now. Just it's a lot of work that I have to put in. Because with my wife, she does a lot of the technical behind the scene things and helps set a lot of things up. And then, I do a lot of the grunt work, make sure all the big stuff gets taken care of, as a good husband should. I take all the majority of the workload off of my wife, that way I can lift her up to where she can always continue to do more. So ladies and gents, we're going to talk about something that, I try to inspire others with, and that is how to be a business owner while dealing with a developmental disability. It is definitely an intriguing thing for me because, I grew up with a lot of negative affirmations thrown at me. I dealt with a lot of criticism, a lot of diversity, because growing up where I did, autism was a very frowned upon thing. Nobody really, I don't think that it's not that they really didn't care. It's like they didn't care to understand how people like me work a little differently than how they do. The inspiring motto that I give others, especially with autism, is you're not autistic, you're artistic. You know how to shape your world in your own way, and you have to be able to overcome the obstacles that you do. I've overcome so many avid things in my life, as Gigi was saying, I've spent about 10 years in the medical field, working as a firefighter, working aside as an EMT, working in the mental health industry was an amazing time. I actually got to rehabilitate young adults that are dealing with developmental disabilities such as schizophrenia, autism, some had cancer, people of that nature. And it dawned upon me at that point in my life, whenever I was working with these individuals, that I said, you know what? I want to do something that I've never done. I want to work towards being an entrepreneur and a business owner. And yes, in light of that, it may have been delayed by time, but great things come with good time. That's what I've always learned and what I've always heard. And so in a daily routine for me, I help manage my taxi company, our nonprofit, all the 4 podcasts that we do, as well as work a normal day job, and also try to find time to fit in people who need vehicles fixed. I have lots of businesses that I accredit to, so a lot of my time is spent driving because I have several major contracts in the Little Rock area and all over Central Arkansas. And so the one thing that being as a young autistic man that makes life difficult for me is we tend to be a little bit more I hate using this word, rageful, than others. We tend to have a bit of a fire in our chest half the time. I'm an Aries, so we're very much fire signed. We're all blow and go most of the time. We're sometimes we just get lost in what we do, and it just explosion. So, that is something that I know personally that I struggled with for so long, and it's taken me years, and I mean absolute years, to get to be as calm and as vividly full of energy as I am now. It was not an easy process. And so now let's fast forward, we're here at the present now. I never thought at the time that I would ever come to own anything other than maybe a car or my cell phone. But then, I had the positive affirmations that my wife has always given me and pushing me to do better and to be better. That's the one thing that I struggled with. I never had that support system. I never had someone behind me to say, I believe in you. Not you can do this, we can do this. We can make this happen. We will have this happen. And, I started having more of that mindset, like we're about to buy a house towards the end of the year. It'll be the first house, my first ever owning a house. And she would always tell me, well, it's gonna happen. It will happen. This will come for you. This will happen in our lives. Let God do this for us. And so, adding that in light of all this, I can honestly say wholeheartedly that I'm proud of who I've become. I started off lost, not knowing my way, and then to become into what I have, and I'm still being shaped as we speak. We all change all the time. Everybody develops new neural pathways. Everybody develops new habits. Everybody has something that changes in your life, whether it be your morning affirmations you wake up with, or maybe you took a different road to work. Those little things can actually have a big impact later down the road, because that's something that I've started to specialize in is trauma addictions. I work very closely with a renowned neuro doctor, and his name is Dr. Rob Kelly. I got to visit him in San Antonio for his neuro conference. And the amount that I picked up from that, being another business owner, and have started implementing those great habits and notes that I picked up. And that's what I love to tell people when they ask, what's it like being a business owner? I'll tell them just one word: it's amazing. Because you get to meet like-minded individuals that all have the same common goal. You want to succeed. You're like, you're a doctor. Gigi is a professional speaker. The woman next to Gigi, she has been renowned in the health and wellness industry. Everybody is excelling towards that same goal. We all want to cross the finish line together. We don't want to do it separately. We want to go arm in arm and cross together. That is the goal. We don't want to leave our comrades behind. We want them to stay with us. And in doing so, I have started to implement how I do things differently. I've come to terms with being more patient, to be more mindful. And whenever I get mad, I take that rage, and that is my fuel. I use that to push myself even harder to make my goals happen. A lot of people don't understand that there is a way of positive reinforcement with your anger that you may get mad with. You can turn that into like rocket fuel, take off with it. And I get tied up with my words. I do apologize, Gigi. I had so much that I want to tell you. I remember the first time that I met Gigi, I thought, I want whatever she's drinking or eating, because this woman is on super pills. Because she's just like, hello, friend. I'm like, oh, wow. And I've loved the enthusiasm, because like she'll send me videos on social media. Hello, friend. How are you doing today? I'm like, well, I'm awake now. That took about 10 seconds. But that's where I've loved meeting Gigi. Gigi has affected me in a certain way. She has gotten my mindset and the professional setting of being more energetic and happy when speaking to an audience, because I felt so moved when I first started talking to her that I honestly, every time I speak now, I think of Gigi telling me, "Hello, friend." So anytime I'm at a conference, that's the first thing that comes to mind is Gigi. I'm like, wow, she must have actually impacted me pretty heavily. Um, the motto that I like to use now is different. So whenever people say that you never amount to anything, that you'll never accomplish anything, that you'll never be anything, I want you to say two words. Says who? You've got to keep those two words in the back of your mind. Who says that they get to determine who you are, who you become, and what you have? Don't get me wrong. I'm not messed up about it because, whenever it's our time to go, it's our time to go. You can't take it with you. You'll never see a U-Haul following a hearse. You'll never see it. You don't get to take none of that with you. But what you get to take with you is the memories. You get to leave long-lasting memories for the generations to come and set the tone for maybe your kids, your grandkids, your friends, other family, whoever it may be. But those two words is what I really preach on to people. Whenever someone is judging you and things are in the rough, it's usually because their life may not be going the way that they want it to. They might be down on their luck. They may be facing hardships. So, what we need to do, not as business owners, but as someone that cares about people, is the appropriate thing to do would be, "Hello, friend, are you okay? Can I talk to you about anything? Are you struggling with anything? What can I do to help you? Maybe I might know someone who can help you. I may not have what it takes or the knowledge to help you, but I got someone who can." That's where I get so frustrated in the business world today. It's the one thing that I just don't like. There's not enough business owners that care enough about their clientele, their customers, the people. Nobody takes the time to get to know their people like that. And that's something that I do. Like anytime that I pick up someone in my taxi cab, I'm already on the back just like that. "Hey, I do this, I'm part of this. If you ever need anything, hey, I'm here for you, man. I'm here for you." Taking that time to let them know that you care about them and sharing that positivity with them, you're sharing dopamine with each other. You're giving them that positive reinforcement. Whenever you start sharing dopamine like Gigi does, everybody just starts smiling and getting happy, getting excited. Everybody is all as one. We've all come together on one thing, and that's unity through love. Dopamine leads to happiness, and happiness leads to love. You love the people that you're around. Yes, yes. Everybody loves the dopamine. We got to share it all the time. Just as something as simple as you saying, "Oh my gosh, your hair looks great today." Or, "Hey, I love those green shoes." They take that. They take that and they use that. They'll share it to the next person. So I make that a habit whenever I'm dealing in some of a business setting. I be sure to share that dopamine with people, because that leads to the ultimate goal that we have as business owners. Yes, we want to make money. Yes, we want to expand. Yes, we want to get big and do big things. But the unity and the love is where it really matters. People will respect more people for being loving and kind and caring than they will someone who's just about the money. So for me to end this up, I want everybody to ask yourself this question. And this is a question that me and my wife love to ask people. And I'll tell you my answer after I ask the question. So if life has taught you one thing, and using one word, what would it be? Because my answer is patience. I've learned to become patient with the people that are around me that I encounter, because you never know exactly the people that you're around until you sit down and talk to them. But then again, everybody is going to be different. Yes, Natasha, surrender to the people around you. Open yourself up to talk to them. And just because you're a business owner, it doesn't mean anything. It's a title. Yes, be vulnerable. Listen. Yes. So, guys, I do appreciate the time. I could go ramble on this for days. I mean, I have a lot of information to share. Also, another quirk of being autistic, we take in a lot of information. We just don't get it out all at one time. It takes a minute. It's like a race between the turtle and the hare. I'm the turtle. I may talk fast, but I've still got a long way to go. Gigi, always a pleasure. Thank you, friend.
Thank you. Thank you, John. And very powerful talk. And ladies and gentlemen, what John is referring to is when we do our weekly quotes, when I share it out on social media, I always started off with, hey, friend. And so that's what John is referring to. And John, thank you again for your kind words. I truly appreciate you. Now, our next speaker is John's wife, Islett Zeledon Stutz. And she's bilingual. She's a real estate agent, keynote speaker, and podcaster. Welcome, Islett.
Hello, everyone, and just wanted to thank everyone that made this possible. And my husband there just changed my name.
I changed her name on May 1st. Thank you. Oh, before I don't get the opportunity, I gotta show this. It just dawned on me. I'm sorry. I promise it'll be quick. So I actually got ordained. So to any of you women out there that wants to get married and want to pressure the husband into getting married, call me and I'll help you. I will convince him to do it. But remember, I'm in cahoots with Jesus, okay? I'll help out. I got you.
Well, and then I think it's funny that he says that because he is a stand-up comedian. So, whatever you take.
Right.
We always like to say that we heal people with laughter. And that's something that we both have ever since we met. Like literally, I remember one of our first, dates or whatever was watching, stand-up comedians. Like we always had laughter around us. And that is something that is very, very beneficial. Scientists have, your brain doesn't know the difference between a fake laughter and a real laughter. And so even if I've been part of sessions on Clubhouse when Clubhouse was a big thing, where we would have laughter therapy. And so today I want to talk to you guys about acceptance. Whenever I was growing up, it was a very, very difficult process for me, mainly because I'm first generation born citizen here in the United States. And so a lot of the things that I was entering into wherever I was extremely unknown and very, very just very, I don't know, it was just kind of weird because first of all, it was a different culture than at home. And then on top of that, it was a different language. And so growing up was a very, very difficult process being a child of immigrants, but it shaped me to who I am now and how I can better serve my community and my immigrant community. My stage name, as I like to say, is Sachi Ice Queen, because of the ice. I deal with a lot of immigration. Again, because I'm first gen, people already know that my ex-husband, he was an immigrant. And so I deal with a lot of people on a daily basis that are predominantly immigrants and here in the United States. And so, I have my PDR number with the state, which for anybody that doesn't know, that is basically the number for a teacher, a PDR number. And so I deal with a lot of children. Me and my husband, we had to go pick up, a child, and because they got caught in the border and I don't really know how these people contact me, or they just find out, and I've lived in Arkansas for so long that they just kind of contact me in some way. And so to me, it's been a blessing to be able to help, our communities, both bilingual, English and Spanish. And, just to be able to do our part to educate them the best they can, because the number one thing that most immigrants do when they get here and they tell me, they're like, there's so many laws. And I'm like, yep, and you got to follow them or you're going to go to jail. And so in order for me to like educate them the most is always a blessing, because with his taxi cab now company, like we get to not only at the same time be, have that full effect of, hey, how can we serve you? How can we help you? Where do you need this? And so we can, basically orient them and give them the step-by-step process, as quick as, or as little bit as they have in the car. And so to me, it's been a blessing to be able to do that. It is a little bit of stressful because I don't know who's been in the South, but some people here, they don't know how to drive correctly. And so we both have very, very like, I don't want to say we're both hot tempered, but we're both very, very, when it comes to driving, I was in insurance for so long that I've heard so many like stories that, yeah, I'm always like very, very cautious. And, but he's complete opposite when it comes to like fast or slow. When it comes to like in his car, he loves the Camaros and the muscle cars, and that's why we're going to do a car show, because he's the car enthusiast. I always tell him, I take care of the properties and the houses and you take care of the cars. But when it comes to your journey and your personal journey, wherever you are in your health journey, wherever you are at the state of wherever you are, you're exactly where you need to be. And I just need to tell you that, because a lot of people don't realize that, and they're wanting to be like 10 steps ahead or 10 steps back. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. You are. And I also wanted to speak to you and tell you to choose these 5 people. People have heard this so many times. I've heard this so many times. You are the 5 people you are around. Choose those 5 people wisely. I've had to recently cut a lot of people from my life. And yes, it hurt, but at the same time, I have seen God's grace and God's favor a lot more because I chose to listen to him, because he specifically told me certain things and made me aware of certain things. And so if you need to hear those words, it's okay to love someone from afar. It's okay to find help. It's okay for you to heal first before you can choose to love someone. It's okay. And I definitely wanted to commend, I don't know how to say your name, but the divorced dad guy. I'm a divorcee as well, so is my husband. And so we both know what we didn't want to tolerate going into this new marriage. We're newlyweds. We were literally the first of this month we got married. And so I definitely want to speak to the divorced women in the world. Like there's so many that they don't know what to do once they don't know, they have to refine themselves. And so in order for you to do that, you first have to accept yourself, accept your flaws, accept everything about you before you even think of if you even want to step into another relationship. I'm very, very grateful and thankful for my husband. He has helped with my son, who also has autism as well. And so that kind of from the very beginning was the basis of a lot of our friendship, because we would talk about my son so much, because he was an adult, an actually successful adult. So I was like, wow, okay. So that was a lot of the long conversations that we've had over the past 2 years was about my son and me trying to like get as much information and out of him to be able to better lead my son. And so I definitely want everyone to make sure that you document your process. I'm a big writer. I've written 7 books. I'm a best-selling author. I think whenever you become those little steps, we're both publishers for a reason, because we both love hearing people's stories. We both love being able to encourage them and being able to walk in that, walk with them. And so, when it comes to real estate, I mainly do property management, again, because I love families. So the buying and selling really isn't my thing in the real estate world. Property management, I love it. A lot of people don't like it. And so, but I love it because I get to have more impact on the families. I get to impact, hey, you know, what broke? Hey, you know, so to me is I enjoy that a lot more in the real estate industry. And so you know, I'm very grateful and thankful to God that He gave us this abundance and gave us these abilities. And I want to speak to anybody that doesn't know their abilities. It's okay. It's okay to not know. It's okay to not know what you want to do. There's so many people that just graduated. It's May, it's graduation season. And if you're listening to this and you don't know what you're going to do, it's okay. But I will give you the piece of advice that my sister gave me when I was in college. Find something that you're good at and find something that you like to do. And so, and the more that you perfect your skills and you know, you walk with the Lord, if you don't know who the Lord is, definitely you know, ask anybody, an administrator, you know, somebody of faith. Don't just ask your friend that might not have any faith, but seek the guidance of someone, you know. And you know, a lot of coaches have helped me along the way. Daniel Gomez was my business coach for some time. Once I entered into the real estate world, my broker was my business coach because that's his job. And so find people who can guide you and to lead you in the correct way. And the way that I always know, you know, I'm Jewish. I love being able to have the knowledge of being Jewish. I don't practice Judaism, but I love the knowledge that I acquired because of that. And one day, the main thing that I acquired from so many things, but the main thing that I want to focus on today is the day of rest. Make sure you take that time, that mental rest. For statistics show you become more productive. And so if you combine that day of rest with your, you know, your exercise of the day, your meditation or your prayer time, perfect. You know, that is when you are becoming not only one with you, but also one with your creator. And so those are just things that I've helped, you know, that I've done in my personal journey. My weight kind of fluctuates just because depending on my schedule, but I always make time for my exercise, and I always make time for my mental health, because I cannot lead my family, I cannot lead my son, I cannot lead my businesses or any of my clients if my mental state is not taken care of first. And so the easiest way that I do that is for the past 2 years, not anymore, but for the past 2 years, I would go to the hot tub and I would have you know, my hot tub time. I would do water aerobics in there. So anybody that's doing a water aerobics in the hot tub, make sure you get out every 15 minutes, because then it's bad for your skin and it causes, you know, blood pressure things. But make sure you get out every 15 minutes. So it would give me that little breathing time of, okay, I need to go back in. And so some people don't need that. Some people can go for, you know, a whole hour swimming, you know, but I wasn't one of those. And now my endurance has grown, so I can swim now. Now I go to the community center, right, and I do my laps and everything. It's so, but yeah, make sure you take care of your mental health. So those are just some tips that I can give you. Like I said, just always remember, you matter, you're important, your health is very important. And just keep the people around you in mind, but also keep yourself in mind. Make sure you have yourself in check first. And so thank you so much, Gigi. Thank you for every one of the you know, speakers, and you know, make sure you reach out to someone. If this impacted you, make sure you reach out and take that step to reach out to someone.
Thank you, Islip, and thank you to the Stutz family. We appreciate you. Now, our last speaker is here, and her name is Natasha. She's a self-healing specialist. Welcome, Natasha.
Hello, hello. How are you guys? Thank you for having me. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, amazing. So today what we're going to talk about is conscious healing. I haven't been on for too long, but I did get to hear our last two speakers, which is really good. Thank you very much. I'm not going to share my screen with you guys. I'm not sure if I can share my screen. Hold on.
Yeah. We've allowed share screen.
Hold on one sec. Okay. Ooh. There we are. Can we see? One moment, please. I don't know what it's doing. It's doing something weird. You guys can see my screen, but I cannot, no, oh, there we are. All right. Here we go. So conscious healing. So let me start with a little bit about me. My name is Natasha. I'm a hypnotherapist and transformation coach. I help people heal, basically. This is what I specialize in, teaching them how to heal. And the reason why I got into this was because I used to be really, really sick. And even though I was doing a lot of different businesses and I was successful in what I was doing, my body was shutting down and I was not able to function properly. And I was diagnosed with MS in 2002, and things just kept getting worse and worse and worse. So in my late 20s and early 30s, things were really, really bad. I was getting flare-ups every 6 weeks. I was taking tons of cortisone, and in 2018, I found out that the medication that my doctor was giving me killed brain cells and stopped the brain from regenerating. So that freaked me out quite a bit. I threw my medication away, and I started looking into alternative ways of healing. And that's what I have been doing since 2018. And I've learned quite a bit. And that's what I want to share with you guys today, because hopefully if you understand this, you'll never, ever get sick again. And nobody around you will ever get sick again. So the beginning or the basis of this is, what are we actually made of? As humans, what are we made of? We're here on our human journey, our human experience, but what makes us up? And the first part is the body, and most of us know this quite well. And we know what the body needs in general, I think. The next part would be our awareness. So the actual consciousness that's here having this human experience. The third part would be the soul, the part of us that keeps us alive, the living part of us, the bit that was breathed into us by the Creator. And last but not least, it's the heart that has its own resonance and its own frequency, and it wants specific things as well. So a disease is exactly that. It's a dis-ease. It's an imbalance in one or more of these parts. And once we have a disease or we have symptoms, our job is to figure out where the imbalance is coming from so we can fix it, so that the body can go back into balance, because our bodies are amazing, magnificent, marvelous, miraculous machines that God built to heal themselves. Like, he does not make a mistake. There is no fault in his design. His design is fantastic. And as soon as we fix whatever's not right, it goes back into balance. So what we're going to learn, because I don't have too much time, is I'm going to go through really quickly what each part of us needs to be in 100% function. So our body is going to need things like nutrition. And I want you to think of the body as this machine that's run by your gut, basically, the little workers, the little microbes in your gut. So you always want to make sure that you're giving those microbes in your gut the very, very best food so that they can function optimally and they can make sure that the machine is running well. Fasting is also really good for your little gut microbes, the little workers. Water is also important. Your body as a machine needs movement. It needs the joints to move around. It needs the muscles to move around. It needs that to stay supple, to stay flexible, and to continue to function. Sunshine is also extremely important. We get a lot of our information from the sun, and it turns our cholesterol into vitamin D. So going outside in the sunshine will regulate us and will help us sleep and wake, because it regulates serotonin and melatonin production. Breath work is another great thing, especially if we have any malfunction in the body, because with breath work, same as with fasting and same as with movement, it enables the body to produce its stem cells or release its stem cells, which can then go around and fix whatever problem we're having in the body. Again, we have got an amazing, wonderful design. Energy medicine is another thing that's really important, because we, as the human body, are an electromagnetic being. So just going outside and standing on the ground barefoot will balance out your energy and help you function better. So those are all a few of the things that the body likes, and some things will overlap in other places, like your body likes novelty as well. At least the mind part of the body likes the novelty, but also your soul likes that too. So there are some things that are needed for one part, and there are some things that will benefit all of the parts or more than one of the parts. The next part of this is our awareness, and this is where our thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and limiting beliefs come in. And when we're born with two fears: the fear of sudden loud noises and the fear of being dropped. Everything else we pick up along the way. So you'll notice with babies, they will touch fire. They still haven't built that belief or that knowledge that fire will burn them. As we go through life, as we experience things, we start writing rules into our subconscious mind, and we don't even know that these rules are running our lives. But a lot of times, God is abundant and God loves us, and there is no lack in God's world. But our limiting beliefs will limit how we experience this world. It's the lens from which we see things. So if we're not living a good, happy life of surrender, where we're accepting all of the wonderful blessings that God is bestowing on us, chances are we've got a limiting belief that's holding us back. So we want to make sure that we don't have negative feelings, we don't have limiting beliefs, and we don't have other things that might be limiting our human experience or our human journey. The third part would be the soul, and this is the bit that was blown in by the Creator. And the way I like to think of this is, this part of us likes whatever God likes. So God likes us to enjoy his blessings, enjoy our human experience, to have purpose, to do something, to serve, to give back, to learn new things, to not carry grudges, to be forgiving, to have that love for people, and continuously be in a state of gratitude, because God says, if you say thank you, I'll give you more. And he loves us so much. He wants to give us a lot of things, but we just need to say thank you and open up to accept that. And last but not least is the heart. And that is our connection to God. When we pray, when we talk to him, when we bring him into our life, we are healthier, we are better, we feel better. And our whole life just becomes brighter, more optimistic, just a joy, really. Even the obstacles that come our way become something that we need to figure out, a puzzle instead of a disaster. The challenge is just that, it's a little challenge, it's a speed bump. And this is what I tell my clients when it comes to an illness. Your illness is just a speed bump. Figure out why it's there, understand what's causing it, rectify it, and move on, because it's not the end of your story. It is just a learning, something that you need to learn from, and just keep going after that. Our heart has its own vibration, and that's why optimism and positive visualization is so important, because even if we're thinking it, we're already feeling it, we're already vibrating at that vibration. And we want, everything in life is frequency and vibration. So as we vibrate on that positive vibration, we attract more positive things into our life, more optimism and better health. What I would recommend for you to enjoy your human experience is reduce your stress. Stress is not good for any part of you. It's not good for your body. It's not good for your awareness. It's not good for your soul, and it's not good for your heart. So reduce the stress as much as possible and try to enjoy your human experience as much as possible. We're not here forever. It's a limited amount of time. It is a gift. So really, really go in and enjoy that gift. My name's Natasha. It's lovely talking to you. I hope this has helped. You can reach me on Instagram. I'm the Natasha Q. On Facebook, Natasha Karyab, or check out my website, it's hypnotherapyme.com, or Natasha Talks. I've also got a free 5-day stress reduction challenge if you're interested in that. The link is in my Instagram. You can check it out. And thank you very, very much for listening. Thank you.
Very powerful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I think I got a lot in 10 minutes. Did I go over, or was I all right?
You were all right. Thank you so much, Natasha.
My pleasure.
And
Thank you.
You're welcome. Wow. We heard from amazing speakers from all over the world today. Very powerful talk. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. And thank you to all of our sponsors as well. We truly appreciate you. And thank you all for listening in and joining us. We appreciate you. Now, at this time, I am going to turn over the mic to Aislet Stutz so that she can close us out with prayer. Aislet, take it away.
All right. Thank you, Lord, for this day, Lord. I pray that whatever your child needed to listen, whether they're, young, old, or in the mid, wherever they are in their journey, I pray right now that you make sure that you see them and you see them for who they are, and they know that, and they can feel you around you. I pray that you cover them with your love, with your joy, with your peace, or whoever is listening, whoever needed any of this information. I pray that you just overwhelm them with your presence in this moment and in the moments that they have with you, Lord, and in this earth, Lord. I pray right now that for anybody, any kind of mentality that is not of you, Lord, I pray that you, send your angels, your protective angels, your warrior angels to fight their mental battles. And I pray that you send, your angels to rescue them wherever they may be, whether it be a person, whether it be a word, whether it be themselves, that they start believing in themselves. They start believing in who you are and whose they are to you. I pray that you just kind of heal their inner wounds, and not just their inner wounds, but their physical wounds too. Have them help them know that they can always seek you and seek the people around them, the professionals around them, that they can have access to that. And I pray that you just overwhelm them with your peace. Your word says that that is how we know that that person is from you, is if they carry peace. We are made to be peacemakers, Lord, and I pray that you remind them of how they know and how they can identify that particular person. And it's because of your peace, the peace that they feel when they talk to them, the peace that they feel when they're in that facility, the peace that they feel when they're in that coaching call, that peace that they feel when they are in their journey, writing whatever you have for them, Lord. I pray that you just bring a little bit of joy and a little bit of a spark of fire, Lord, that only you can do, for them to learn how to create, like one of the speakers said, to create something out of nothing. If they feel like they are nothing, remind them that they're not. And I pray right now that for all of the speakers, a special blessing and anointing of just that knowledge that they have just acquired, and the knowledge that they will acquire for the many years to come, that they remember to keep you first, and to always keep your plan for them first, Lord. And I thank you for Gigi and all of Life Services America, Lord. I pray that you bless them abundantly, and for the future conferences to come. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Aislet, and thank you again to the Stutz family. Thank you all. We truly appreciate you. God bless you and be safe.